From his injuries keeping him on the bench to still not being able to shoot from outside the box, is Ben Simmons' career over? Well, his career in the NBA has been marred by injuries over the past few years. He's had to sit out several games because he simply wasn't in the shape to be out there safely, including a back injury that caused him to miss the end of the 2019-2020 season and the playoffs. Simmons has always been a player with immense talent and potential, but his injury history has definitely slowed down his progress. In the 2016-2017 season, his first year in the league, he missed the entire season due to a foot injury. The following season, he played 81 games and won the NBA Rookie of the Year award.
And the 2018 Kia NBA Rookie of the Year is
Ben Simmons.
But since then, he's pretty much just been on the bench. During the 2018-2019 season, Simmons missed 4 games due to a back injury. Then in the 2019-2020 season, he missed a total of 16 games due to various injuries, including a nerve impingement in his lower back that caused him to miss the final 8 games of the regular season. Simmons' most recent injury was a left knee injury that caused him to miss 4 games during the 2020-2021 regular season. But he was able to return for the playoffs and played in all 7 games of the series against the Atlanta Hawks. While injuries are a part of any athlete's career, Simmons' injury history is definitely cause for concern. Not only does it prevent him from playing at his best, but it also puts him at risk for future injuries. The back injury he suffered in the 2019-2020 season was particularly concerning, as back injuries can be tricky and difficult to recover from. Leaving injuries aside, imagine what happens if an NBA player doesn't put in the effort to improve. Well, it's not good. Simmons has been at the center of controversy in recent months due to his perceived lack of effort and dedication to the game of basketball. One of the most notable incidents occurred in September 2021, when Simmons announced that he would not be reporting to training camp for the Philadelphia 76ers. This decision was met with criticism from fans and analysts alike, who accused Simmons of lacking commitment to the team. This was not the first time that Simmons has faced criticism for his effort on the court. During the 2021 NBA playoffs, he struggled to make an impact on the offensive end and was criticized for his lack of aggression and shooting ability. Simmons' reluctance to shoot the ball in crucial moments was a major factor in the Sixers' second-round playoff loss to the Atlanta Hawks.
And he's headed to the line.
Well, but that's when you know that the game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons right there. You got it, and I know you got it, disciple.
He has also faced criticism for his lack of effort in his off-season training. In an interview with ESPN, former NBA player and current analyst Kendrick Perkins criticized Simmons for not working hard enough in the off-season to improve his shooting and scoring ability. While it's true that Simmons has struggled with shooting throughout his career, it's also important to note that he has many strengths as a player. He's an excellent defender, a gifted passer, and a strong rebounder, but his lack of effort in certain areas of his game has raised questions about his commitment to improving as a player. Other than that, another reason his career might be over is because his play style is better suited to the era of basketball played in the 1980s rather than the modern game. Simmons' biggest weakness is his shooting ability. He has shown a reluctance to shoot from outside the paint, which makes it difficult for him to create space for himself and his teammates on the offensive end. This is a major disadvantage in today's game, where players are expected to be able to shoot from beyond the arc. The ability to shoot from outside the paint is crucial in today's game for several reasons. First, it allows players to stretch the defense and create more opportunities for themselves and their teammates. Defenders are forced to guard players on the perimeter, which opens up more space in the paint for drives and cuts to the basket. Second, shooting from outside the paint is essential for players who want to be effective in late-game situations. When defenses tighten up in the fourth quarter, players who can shoot from outside are able to create their own shots and take pressure off their teammates. Ben's lack of shooting ability has become a liability for his team, as opposing defenses are able to sag off him and clog up the paint. This makes it more difficult for his teammates to create space and find open shots. It also puts more pressure on Simmons to be a playmaker, as he is often relied upon to create opportunities for others. Speaking of not being able to shoot from outside the box, that's not all he's bad at. He also has some glaring weaknesses that have come under scrutiny in recent years. His terrible free throw shooting. He has struggled with his free throw shooting throughout his career, and opponents have taken advantage of this by fouling him intentionally and putting him on the line.
Thank you, Stephanie. You hear the crowd for Ben Simmons. Foul called on Anthony Melton, and they call it brickin' for chicken. And if you miss 2 in the second half, nuggets for everyone. So that's why they're so fired up.
This has not only hurt Simmons' scoring efficiency, but also slowed down the pace of the game. He has also been criticized for his lack of aggression and assertiveness on the court. He has a tendency to defer to his teammates and pass up scoring opportunities, which can be frustrating for fans and coaches alike. And apart from that, he has also faced criticism for his lack of leadership and accountability. He has had some well-published clashes with coaches and teammates, and has been accused of not taking responsibility for his mistakes. But there's another reason why his career might be over. His career statistics have been underwhelming compared to his potential. Despite being a former #1 overall draft pick and a 3-time NBA All-Star, Simmons' numbers have not been as impressive as they could be. One of the main reasons for this is his shooting woes. He has never been a prolific scorer, and his lack of a reliable jump shot has hindered his ability to put up big numbers. In the 22-23 season, Simmons has averaged just 6.9 points per game, which is relatively low for a player of his caliber. Other than his scoring struggles, his rebounding and assist numbers have also been lower than expected. While he has shown flashes of brilliance as a facilitator and rebounder, his average of 6.3 rebounds and 6.1 assists per game are not as high as they could be, given his size and athleticism. Overall, Simmons' career statistics are solid, but not spectacular. His scoring and rebounding numbers have been somewhat underwhelming. If he wants to take his game to the next level and become one of the league's elite players, he will need to work on these areas and become a more well-rounded player. But that's not all. He doesn't perform at the same level his draft class competitors do. While Simmons has shown flashes of brilliance, he has not yet reached the level of some of his peers. One player who has surpassed Simmons in many ways is Brandon Ingram. The former Duke star has emerged as one of the league's top young players, with averages of 19.1 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 4 assists per game over his career. Ingram has also become a much more reliable outside shooter than Simmons, with a career three-point percentage of 38.4%. Another player who has outperformed Simmons is Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. Brown, who was selected 3 picks after Simmons in the 2016 draft, has been a key contributor for the Celtics over the past few seasons. He has averaged 17.5 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 2.2 assists per game over his career, while also becoming a more consistent outside shooter than Simmons. And that's all for his Ben Simmons career over.